Hello dear learners, welcome to this SWAYAM NPTEL online course on inclusive education. I am Dr. Umakant Prasad, an assistant professor from Department of Education, Vishwabharati Shanti Niketan. This is week 7 and today we are going to discuss lecture number 32, that is recommendations of various commissions and committees after independence regarding inclusive education. During this lecture, we will discuss recommendations of various commissions and committees on inclusive education, such as commissions and committees like the University Education Commission 1948, the Secondary Education Commission 1952, Kothari Commission 1964-66, the Yashpal Committee Report 1993 and the National Knowledge Commission 2005. Let us discuss the recommendations of the University Education Commission 1948. The University Education Commission of 1948, chaired by Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, was set up to review the higher education in India after independence. The commission emphasized the need to modernize universities, making them both relevant to contemporary needs and accessible to all sections of the society. It stressed that higher education should not remain confined to academics alone, but should also promote social inclusiveness. Above all, it viewed education as a means to prepare students for responsible citizens and democratic citizenship and dedicated service to the nation. In terms of inclusive education, the Radhakrishnan Commission made important recommendations for women education. The report states that women should have the same educational opportunities as men. It recommended establishing special colleges for women with adequate facilities. The commission also suggested that the curriculum for women should be designed to prepare them to be both good citizens and capable individuals. It was a step towards breaking down gender barriers in higher education at the moment. The commission also promoted social and vocational inclusion. It recommended the establishment of rural universities to meet the specific needs of the rural population. These universities were meant to focus on practical subjects like agriculture and rural industries. This was a progressive idea that aimed to bring higher education to marginalized communities. The commission stressed equality of opportunities in higher education. It recommended that students from weaker sections, women and socially disadvantaged groups should get more chances to study at universities. Scholarships, hostels and other facilities were suggested to support them. It also emphasized that no student should be left out of higher education because of poverty or social background. It believed that education should promote democracy, social justice and unity. By supporting inclusion, the commission hoped to create a strong and equal society through university education. Let us discuss the Secondary Education Commission 1952. The Secondary Education Commission of 1952, also known as the Mudaliar Commission, was set up to improve secondary education in India. It did not focus on inclusive education in the way we understand it today, but it did mention students with disabilities. The report suggested that many special schools should be opened for children with physical and mental disabilities. This showed an effort to provide separate facilities for them instead of including them in regular schools. The commission also spoke about the importance of vocational training for children with disabilities. It explained that education could help them to face their challenges and to live with dignity. The report recommended proper training so that these children could develop skills for job and self-reliance. This step was important because it saw them as capable of contributing to the society. Although the approach was based on segregation through special schools, it was still an important beginning for children with disabilities. It was the first time when the educational needs of children with disabilities were clearly recognized in post-independence India. These ideas later influenced policies that moved from segregation to integration and finally to inclusive education. The focus on special schools and vocational training became the foundation for future progress, especially for the education of children with disabilities. The Commission believed that boys and girls should have access to the same education. However, it also recognized the need for specific subjects for girls. Therefore, it recommended that home science be introduced as a subject in all girls' schools. The report also stressed the importance of providing arts and music in curriculum for girls. The Commission further suggested that the state government to open more girls' schools where there was a demand for them. It emphasized the need for a diversified curriculum and the establishment of multi-purpose schools. This approach was designed to cater to the varied abilities and aptitude of all students, including those who were not inclined towards purely academic subjects. Kothari Commission 1964-66. The Kothari Commission supported an inclusive approach to schooling. It introduced the idea of common and neighborhood schools. The Commission recommended that all children, no matter their caste, religion, creed, economic condition, community or social status, should study in the same school. Such a school should be one located in the neighborhood of the child's home. This meant that the main factor for choosing a school should be its location. In other words, schools should not discriminate against any child. Every child from neighborhood should be allowed admission. Later, the Right of Children to Free and Compulsory Education RT Act 2009 adopted this same principle. The Act clearly followed the idea of neighborhood common school system suggested by the Kothari Commission. Its reports has a full chapter dedicated for the education of the children with disabilities titled Towards Equalization of Educational Responsibilities. The main points of this chapter are as follows. The report clearly stated that the education of persons with disabilities should not be based only on humanitarian grounds, but should also aim at making them capable and responsible citizens. It highlighted social justice as an important reason for providing education to persons with disabilities. The definition of children was broadened to include persons with disabilities, in line with the constitutional directive of providing compulsory education to all children between 6 to 14 years old. The report stressed the shortage of educational facilities for children with disabilities, particularly in terms of trained teachers and adequate resources. It recommended the establishment of both special schools and integrated programs to meet the educational goals for persons with disabilities. The Commission further suggested that at least one well-equipped institution for the education of persons with disabilities should be set up in each district. The report suggested that effective coordination among various agencies, including voluntary organizations and government departments at both at the center and the state levels were necessary for developing educational facilities for children with disabilities. It also recommended experimenting with integrated programs and adopting suitable methods and techniques from educationally advanced countries. The Yashpal Committee Report 1993. The Yashpal Committee was formed in 1993 to look into learning in schools. It found that children were burdened with too much information and rote learning. The committee suggested reducing the load of students and making learning joyful and meaningful for all children. The committee states that education should not leave out any child. It highlighted the importance of creating flexible teaching methods and providing equal opportunities to children with different abilities. The idea was to make classrooms inclusive, where every child feels supported and valued. It also recommended training of teachers to handle diverse needs in the classrooms. The focus was on developing creative teaching, using activity-based learning and promoting curiosity. The committee's vision of inclusive education was to make schools welcoming and supporting for every child regardless of their background or disability. The National Knowledge Commission 2005. The National Knowledge Commission 2005 set up as a advisory body to Prime Minister of India. Its main aim was to help India to grow into a global knowledge leader. The National Knowledge Commission gave suggestions in many areas, especially education, with a focus on building an inclusive and fair society. It believed that quality education is essential for national progress and for reducing gap between urban and rural areas as well as among different social and economic groups. In its report, the National Knowledge Commission recommended a central law to ensure the right to education for every child. It also states that the central government should provide adequate fund for this purpose. The commission suggested that school management should be decentralized and handled by local bodies like panchayats to improve accountability and encourage community participation. It further proposed a common school system where neighborhood schools would provide equal quality education to children from all sections of society. The National Knowledge Commission also focused on improving the quality of education. It recommended changes in curriculum and examinations to reduce rote learning and promote creativity and critical thinking. It highlighted the importance of training and professional growth for teachers. The commission also advised the use of technology to improve learning by providing digital resources and internet facilities in schools so that every child could have equal opportunities to learn and succeed. In conclusion, we can say the different commissions and committees on education in India show a gradual but clear shift towards inclusive education. The early reports like those of Radhakrishnan and Mudaliar commissions recognized the need for women education and provided separate facilities for children with disabilities. The Kothari Commission took this further by stressing common neighborhood schools and equal opportunities including for children with disabilities, making social justice a central theme. Later, committees such as the Yashpal Committee emphasized child-friendly and flexible teaching methods to reduce academic pressure and ensure that no child was left behind. Finally, the National Knowledge Commission placed inclusivity at the heart of national progress, recommending legal, structural and technological reforms to bridge educational gap across regions and communities. Together, these reports reflect India's evolving vision of education, from segregation to integration and towards true inclusion. By continuously working to remove barriers related to gender, disability, economic background or social status, these commissions laid the foundation for a system where every learner has the opportunity to grow and contribute to the nation. There are some references here. Thank you.